What's up, y'all? That is Over the Moor to Maggie. It's a great classic session tune, and in fact, it was one that I got off the classic session recording music of Matt Molloy's, which has been in a bit of rotation with me lately. And it was a tune that I haven't played in a while, and I thought it might be a fun one to break down, so let's dive in. We'll start with the basic melody here of the A part, nice and slow. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. First half of the A part. Hopefully you got that. We'll carry on with the second half, then we'll put them all together and see if you can follow along. Here we go. Second half, same thing, nice and slow. 2, 3, 4. A lot of repetition in that second half, bouncing around that G there. We'll play the whole A part again, still nice and slowly, and just see how much you can get. Easy tempo, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Cool, hopefully you're able to pick that up. We'll carry on here with the second part of the tune. This is a 3-part tune. The second part jumps way up into the second octave, so as always when we get to those, be mindful of your hearing and that of any pets or people you care about in the vicinity. In fact, it starts all the way up on that high B, so be aware of that. Here we go, nice and slow. 2, 3, 4. Nice and high. Again, that's the first half. Second half, same thing. Nice and easy, nice and slow. 2, 3, 4. Hopefully, amidst the shrillness of the notes you're able to pick up at the end of the B part is basically the same as the end of the A part, just an octave higher. Earplugs in, let's run the whole B part all the way through nice and slow. 2, 3, 4. Success, hopefully you made it through that. The C part is interesting because it kind of does this weird little walk down thing. So we'll go through it still slowly here, of course, nice and easy. But just keep in mind that one might take a bit of repetition as you're bouncing between the 2 octaves. And we are going to start with a bit of a pickup note because that's usually how it's done on the 3rd bar here. So we'll go on the 4th beat rather than the downbeat, the 1. So here we go. 2, 3. Hopefully you got that little walk down thing because it does happen in the second half. Keep that in mind. Still nice and slow. Here we go. 2, 3. And that one wraps up the same as the A part. We'll get once through the whole C part, and then we're going to come back and get the whole tune, all as one continuous practice thing. But first things first, let's get the C part locked down nice and slow, same tempo. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. whole tune, right? All the way through, still at a reasonable, nice, kind of mellow tempo. And maybe you can mark this one as a good reference place. You can come back and work it a few times if you need to. Play AABBCC, so buckle in. Bit of a long one, but hang on, and hopefully it'll be a good, useful exercise here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Had some success with that. Mark that spot, go back and use that as a good baseline to practice from, and then let's dive into some ornaments. Hopefully as you were working through the basic melody, you've had some ideas pop into your head, maybe some spots where a roll might work or a cut or something like that. If you're completely new to the ornaments, I'm going to put a link to the video up in the corner. I think it goes up there. Hopefully we'll see. Check out some basic ornaments and get you a good rundown. If you're of the more advanced persuasion and you want to deep dive this video, I also have that available on my Patreon. So we go through a lot more advanced stuff and some more of the variations and some more of the flute specific things. So if you're interested in that, please do join us over there. For now, let's talk about the A part and some of the things that we can do. You probably heard when I did it on the flute in the intro, I use a lot of triplets. Anytime I get the opportunity to jump from the lower octave up to that second octave, D or higher, I'll probably see if there's a good possibility for a triplet. So in this case, and then we get into the second octave, and thus far, even though the tune spends a lot of time in the second octave, so far in the A part, that's the furthest, the highest note we've got is that second octave G. So I tend to punch that. I use the expression highest note in the phrase a lot in my videos, and once we get to that point, I sort of want to celebrate that. So nice, quick, clean cut on that high G. That's really, I think, about all you need, but it gives it a good little punch to celebrate the fact that we're in that second octave. That's one of those spots hopefully you were picking up on as we were working through the basic melody. It spends a fair bit of time on that A in the first octave. Taps work just fine, but you could substitute a roll. Gives it a little bit more of that stereotypical jig lift, I think. When you come out of that phrase and back around to the second half of the A part, it's a nice time to do a roll as well on that G. And then a third one there to finish up the phrase. But really that roll in the beginning, the second half of that A part sets up the triplet, I think, rather well. Taps and simple stuff really there, just giving those notes a bit of separation. Tonguing certainly works and would do the job, but if you can work in a couple of those taps, cuts work too, but I think a tap is a nice little subtle thing. Cool way to break up those notes. In the second part, the second octave here, the name of the game is control. So first things first, hopefully you've got a whistle that you can count on, that you're comfortable in that second octave and you know how much air is needed to get there and you're not going to break the notes. Either way, sliding into some of those higher notes is a real safety net kind of thing, but it also kind of sounds cool. So I'm combining a couple of things. I'm sliding into that second octave B, the highest note that really we're getting on the whistle, because it's also the one that's most likely to break. And if you can come at it from the note below it, it's a little bit more confidence-inducing. Tends to hit it a little bit more cleanly. So, and then a couple of rolls. A couple on G, and it just has that really nice bright sound. I think it works pretty well in that spot. Another good option for a triplet. Rolls as well in the second octave. Hey, that's one where when you get north of that G, the A and the B, the higher notes in the whistle, confidence in the instrument is going to be paramount. Going to be really important, so make sure you can hit those nice and clean without it breaking, if you want to try that. Alternatively, nice slides and taps, safer option, and still sound really good. So maybe you can alternate and see which one works. Triplet again to finish out that second half of the B part there. Otherwise, I'm not doing a whole lot except a couple of simple cuts, simple taps. Second octave, I try to play it a little bit conservative. I don't get too crazy with that stuff because you do increase the risk of those notes breaking. Slides work really well through that little descending line. I think it's got a nice change in rhythm, really, because this whole tune has been kind of by the book jig, and now all of a sudden we get this kind of stair-steppy thing. So I like to enhance that a bit with a slide. Same phrase there, taps and good clean separation between those notes. Otherwise, I'm not doing a whole lot. I will do a triplet to get back on the repeat of this when we come around to the second half of the C part. So we're in that same phrase that I just did on the A. Kind of a cool way to get back in that second octave. And then a good clean, similar finish to the way that we did the A part. So hopefully you got some useful ornaments out of this. Let me know what you think of this tune. I might come back and do the rest of that set. I'll put a link to the set that I got this tune from Music of Matt Molloy's. Definitely check that out. Great reference and just fantastic. Playing in a great environment. Yeah, so let me know what you think. I will see y'all on the next one, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. Cheers.